The NHL draft is over. It started after we got off air yesterday, and it was done before we got on air today. So, props NHL. They started, I think it was 10 o'clock local time in Nashville, so 11 Eastern, I think, is when they got started with the draft. Or maybe it was even before that, or maybe it was 10 o'clock Eastern. I can't remember off the top of my head, but man.
Sounds about right. I think it was 11 Eastern, and now they're already finished.
Yeah, they were cooking. They were cooking through picks. It was awesome. This is amazing. Canes made 10 total draft picks. Their number one pick, the 30th overall selection, Bradly Nadeau out of the British Columbia Hockey League. He's on his way to play at the University of Maine. Put up over 100 points in just over 50 games this past season. Watch some highlights. This dude has a laser of a shot. Undersized a little bit right now, but again, he's only 18. People grow. People grow over age, Chris.
Yeah.
Now, Don Waddell, president, general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes, did talk about his evaluation of Bradly Nadeau.
Yeah, if you just watch this player, he brings it every night. He's got tremendous work ethic, great skill, and we do interviews, background checks. We got to have good players, but we want good people, and he certainly checked all the boxes.
There you go. Everything you want, Chris. This guy, all-star. Calling it right now. All-star.
Okay. That's hard to – it's so hard. I hate that that we have to wait so long to see these draft picks come to fruition. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I don't like about the MLB and the NHL drafts. With NBA, NFL, they – for the most part, you see what's going to happen within, 2 to 3 years, sometimes 4 years within the draft.
Yeah.
We may not even see this guy in Raleigh for another 5 years.
Potentially. That's the way things work. So it's interesting for people that don't know when it comes to professional hockey is that he was playing junior A hockey in Canada, is now going to go to college. So if you don't make an NHL roster, let's say he does come to training camp, or if he, for example, we'll use Seth Jarvis, for example. When Seth Jarvis signed his entry-level contract after he was drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes, if he didn't make the team his first year he signed his contract, he couldn't go to the American Hockey League. He had to go back to juniors because there's a rule in the AHL where you have to be 20 years old to play in the AHL. It's an American Hockey League rule. You have to be 20. It's funny because you can play the NHL at 18, but you can't play in the American Hockey League unless you're 20. So
don't understand it.
Yeah,
not at all.
I don't get it either. So this is where things kind of get mixed up for players in the sense of, okay, well, the Canes will have Nadeau's rights for 3 years before he can sign his entry level contract. So he has that for 3 years. So that's kind of the thing is that he's just 18 years old, so he can't go play down in the minors. So he has to play collegiate hockey unless he wants to sign his entry-level contract, in which case he has to make the NHL team, which he's just not ready for yet. So that's where things get weird with hockey and all that kind of stuff. But it's what it is. Bradly Nadeau joined Hayes Permar earlier today. Hayes Permar sitting in for Adam Gold on the Adam Gold Show, which you can listen from noon to 3 right here on The Fan. This was Bradly Nadeau's reaction to getting drafted by Carolina.
I was at first I didn't know what to do, how to act. I was a bit surprised, but to get drafted by such a good organization and a team, I was really happy. And I met with the organization, and they're an awesome people.
Love hearing stuff like that, man. Because honestly, if you think about it, 8 years ago, if you got drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes, would you be that happy?
Probably not.
Yeah. So seeing the changes and the growth, not only since the club has even been in the state of North Carolina, but over just the last 5-6 years. Now people are looking at the Hurricanes and it's like, wow, I get the chance to be drafted by them, and they're excited to potentially join the team in the next 5 years. So, I'm excited that he's excited, and I can't wait to see what this ends up doing for the Canes. Hopefully this pick ends up paying off in the long run.
Well, Nadeau did tell Hayes Permar what he thinks his biggest strengths as a hockey player are.
Yeah, obviously I think it's going to be getting stronger and just maybe getting even better defensively. You can never be good enough for that part of the game. So those are two things I kind of want to improve on.
Okay. Wants to get stronger. I mean, he is listed at about 5'10", 5'11", depending on what site you're looking at, and just over 160 pounds. He's not that big of a guy. But it's something with age and time that he can continue to develop over his career. You don't have to be the biggest player in order to be the most effective player in the NHL. Just ask Johnny Gaudreau, who's like 5'7", and like 150 pounds. That dude scores left and right. Nadeau also go ahead, Chris.
Oh, no, I was just going to bring up something I saw on Twitter. This is about the last pick for the Carolina Hurricanes. Byron Bader from Hockey Prospecting put this out there when the Canes drafted goalie Ruslan Kaziev. Probably messed up that last name.
That's fine.
But basically said he's the best model numbers goalie in the 2023 draft and basically gave the Canes props, saying that they are putting on a drafting clinic year in and year out. Again, another player that we probably won't see for a long time. But if that's what he already thinks about this particular goalie, we might have another good one down the pipe that we may see in 5 years or whatever.
Hey, and that's totally fine. This is where something that Carolina really excels at in terms of how they use analytics and numbers in order to evaluate talent and to get the best value and finding those potential diamonds in the rough late in draft with late draft picks, things along those lines. Remember, they drafted Jacob Slavin in the 4th round. Yes. They drafted guys like Brett Pesce in the 3rd round. Sebastian Aho is a 2nd-round pick. So, yeah, you can find good talent outside of the 1st round. And now, I mean, it's hit and miss with hockey, just in the sense that guys might be overseas and have contracts with other teams overseas, and how fast can you get to the United States and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of tricky things a lot of hoops you got to jump through in order to get guys over here. And that's also could be a reason why guys might fall down a draft board, is that a guy might be signed to a KHL team over in Europe, and their rights with the KHL team runs through 2024, 2025. So like, well, why do I want to spend a high pick on someone that we might not even get to the United States in 3 years?
Yeah, very true. So it'll be, I want to see what this looks like in a few years. I'm still waiting for Mr. Ryan Suzuki, though. I'm waiting to see him if he can come to Raleigh, because I remember when he was drafted in 2019 and all the hype that was about him. So we're almost getting there, almost getting to the time where we got to start making decisions on him.